Let me know if he's going to be a heartbreaker or not. What about Robert Tunyon, who last season came off the waiver wire, was one of the best fantasy tight ends? Is he going to be a heartbreaker this season? Can he recapture that magic, rekindle the spark, so to speak?
I think this is a tough call because he has athletic talent, and if you, as a Packer fan, you watch this guy, tight end, you always hear is a really hard position to learn, especially in that offense. And it finally clicked for him, and I think he has a good rapport with Rodgers. But when you look at his numbers, he was so touchdown heavy, and he gets a lot, he catches everything. So I suspect he's going to have the similar numbers in receptions and in yardage. So I could see him being up in yardage and receptions by a little bit, but I think he had 10 or 11 touchdowns. I don't see that happening again. I could see something closer to 5 or 6. And so I think for that reason, a little bit more of a heartbreaker.
And you mentioned AJ Dillon as well. There's somebody that could end up being in a goal line back who he himself could end up with 8 to 10 touchdowns, and it wouldn't surprise me at all.
Oh, yeah. I could see AJ Dillon, again, I hope Aaron Jones stays healthy, but I could see a world where he wins a lot of playoff games for people because at the end of the season, he's really found his stride, and the Packers, maybe go with AJ Dillon, for a couple games, and he, might get you 20, 30 points. I mean, AJ Dillon is definitely going to have a couple games where he scores 20, 30 points, I think, this season. It just depends on when.
No, I agree. See, we can come together and agree on certain things. So I think that's one of them. AJ Dillon, that's where we'll plant our flag. Let's move it to Tom Brady, who, he continues to be amazing at the age of 44. Is he going to be a fantasy heartbreaker this season?
I don't know. I want to say yes, because it's you just want to be he can't keep doing it. But, they're stacked on offense. It's year 2 in this offense. You hear a lot of reports last year that he didn't quite figure it out offensive wise into the playoff run. I don't do they have any really dynamic running backs? I really think it's going to be up to Tom Brady. I can see Tom I think gonna probably throw 40 touchdowns again and have not a few interceptions. Tom Brady's going to get his this year. So I think if you end up with Tom Brady as your quarterback, I think you could do a lot worse.
We talked before you got onto the show about Justin Fields. And I know that we're, for me, unlike you, I have not lived a life where I go into a season saying, hey, our quarterback can win us some games. Hopefully that is going to be the case with Justin Fields. How do you see him playing during his rookie season when he does eventually become the starter?
I think he's in one of those positions where there's, I have a lot of friends who are Bears fans, so I empathize with you. And even as a Packer fan who appreciates the rivalry, you guys just haven't had a quarterback. So there's just so much pressure for him to be great early on. And he's clearly athletic. I think he'll do all right, but I think he's going to disappoint. He's going to have his disappointing games and moments. I mean, he's a rookie, and so maybe they can catch lightning in the bottle, but, I don't know if he's a quarterback I'd want to, draft early on. Maybe you put him on your bench if you have an extra roster spot and see if he lights it up. Obviously, he'll get some points in the ground, and I think he'll have some rushing touchdowns for sure. But I think you should, Bears fans, both fantasy-wise and football-wise, should have modest expectations, at least for year 1. I mean, it's
too late. No, we can't.
Yeah.
No, we can't. We have an unreasonable expectation of this young man that he has to come in and have the same season that Justin Herbert had last year. And I think it just becomes, we're just not used to it. We don't know how to act, Nick. And it's largely driven by a lot of people like me, Chicago people, that we don't know what it's like. There's a reason why when the Milwaukee Bucks were in the NBA Finals on their way to a championship, there were thousands of fans everywhere, rooting for the Bucks. You weren't used to it, and not to disrespect Milwaukee and the fact that you guys never win championships outside of the Packers. But I'm just saying it was something new to you for a team other than the Packers to be winning. So you have this weird sort of relationship with it. And I think we're our own worst enemy in this situation.
Completely agree. If you would have asked me if the Bucks would ever win a championship in my lifetime, I definitely would have bet no.